In the heart of a lush African village, there lived a wealthy farmer named Osifo, renowned for his tireless work ethic and captivating charm. His expansive farm yielded bountiful harvests, and his love for women was as vast as his lands. 4 wives and numerous concubines shared his affection, but one stood above the rest: Osemi, his youngest and most cherished wife. Osifo's love for her knew no bounds. He lavished her with extra yam tubers, and his fondness for her sparked envy among his other wives. However, his affection soon turned to concern as her arrogance grew and her disrespect toward his senior wives intensified. One fateful day, Osifo summoned her to his chamber, his voice laced with a mix of love and warning. "Osemi, my dear wife, do you love me as I love you?" he asked, his eyes searching for sincerity. "I love you more than life itself, my husband," she replied, her voice dripping with devotion. "Then prove it," he urged. "Live in peace with my wives, especially my first wife. She is the mother of this household." Osemi's response was laced with venom. "I cannot live with that old hag. She wants to turn me into a maid?" Her interruption cut deep, and the farmer's heart sank. He was sad. He bent over and pulled out the gourd of palm wine sitting under his spring bed, poured some out into his horn and gulped it down. "Do you want some?" His voice tinged with sadness. Frowning, she ignored him. He pulled her close to his side and planted a kiss on her forehead. "You know how much I love you, my wife. You know I will do anything to see you happy. Then chase these women away. You don't need these ugly old women in this house. Take a look at me," she retorted, pulling away from his arms and wiggling her hips. She had an hourglass figure, lovely perky breasts, and an accompanying big backside. A man's heart could stop from watching her heaving bottom once she decided to strut intentionally. Her husband could hardly resist her stunning beauty. She had a glowing skin, a masterly chiseled face, and an aquiline nose. The wealthy farmer smiled at her raunchy moves. "You are beautiful, and all villagers know it. That's why I married you," he said, smiling. She ignored him, her beauty and allure momentarily overshadowed by her anger. Osifo appealed to her with a tender touch. "You know I love you, my wife. You know I'd do anything to see you happy. My love, my wealth, and everything will be yours one day, but first, you must learn to live in peace with my wives. Once you do, I will be convinced that you are mature and wise enough to take good care of me and manage my estate." She smiled in excitement and embraced him. "Osime, I feel a strong urge to tell you a secret," he said as they cuddled. "Hold on." He pulled out of her arms. Grabbing a stool, he reached out to a hole in the ceiling and brought down a small calabash. She looked with seriousness and curiosity. Osifo opened up the calabash slowly, and in it was an egg. "You see, Osemi, this egg is my life. The day this calabash touches the floor, I will die suddenly," he said with a somber voice. "You will not die young, my husband. You will not die." She stuttered nervously. With the stool, he quickly replaced it back in the ceiling. As he got down, he warned her to keep it secret as his life depended on it. Oseme's eyes widened, and she swore to protect his secret with her life. But fate had other plans. One day, the wealthy farmer brought out some tubers of yam and called his wives. He decided to be just as he shared the tubers equally among the women. They all departed with thanks, except Osemi. She was, as usual, waiting for her extra tubers. "My husband, don't tell me you are done sharing," she asked greedily. "Yes, I am. As you can see, there are no extra tubers today," he said politely. She went into a rage and promised to get back at him. Furious and disappointed, the farmer slapped her. This did not go down well with her, and she sought revenge. She was mad at her husband. She ran into his chamber, climbed up the stool, and brought down the calabash. In a fit of rage, she ran out to meet her husband. At the sight of his wife dashing towards him with the calabash of life, he screamed with disbelief and fright. Everyone rushed to the scene. Oseme lifted the calabash above her head and smashed it on the cold, hard, earthen floor. Everything was destroyed. The farmer smiled and cleared his throat. He beckoned on one of his servants and said, "Call me my kinsman. Tell them one of my wives just killed me." As the villagers gathered around the farmer, his wise and aged voice echoed in the hearts of those who loved him. His gaze pierced through the dusk, causing a cold shiver to run down the spine of all that listened to him. And he whispered the haunting words, "Trust no one." Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the story, kindly leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.